Chillin' with Larry Megan.
Well, here we are on Wednesday night, chilling with Larry Megan once again. And tonight, we're going to focus a little bit on some sports talk. A lot happening in the sports world. I want to invite people out there to call in tonight. The number, if you're watching on Acorn TV, it's 914. What is that? 595-4871. We will take some call-ins tonight. Some of the topics I want to put on the table. And by the way, I asked Anthony if he could play some. We were listening between the shows here. We were listening to some nice Christmas music, and we were digging it. And so I was saying, I wonder, can we play that during the show? And he said he could play it in the background. So, you know, if it becomes too annoying, then we're going to shut it down because we have a lot of talking to do here. But we'll see how that plays out. All right. Some of the topics I want to put on the table here tonight for sports talk. You know, there's a big football game coming up next Monday night. My Jets are taking on the Patriots. I can't wait for that game. That's going to be phenomenal. I definitely have some thoughts about that game. Of course, you can't get away from it right now. Here in New York, all the talk, and I know we did touch on it already, I think a couple of weeks ago, but all the talk here in New York right now is about Derek Jeter and the New York Yankees. He resumed talks. He's on the back page again today, Derek Jeter. So, you know, we'll talk some Yankee baseball. Of course, when we talk about basketball, my Lakers are, you know, they've lost 3 straight. Now, I think they're playing tonight, aren't they? They are? I think, well, in any case, the Lakers have lost 3 in a row. That's not good, but I still believe in the Lakers, so we can talk about some hoops, too. And, of course, the Knicks have won 7 out of 8. So they seem to be doing well, and I think tomorrow night LeBron's going back to Cleveland. We can talk about that as well. Now, as far as on the, you know, I was in Minneapolis this past weekend for a Sterling Original, and we were at Shop NBC, and we had a nice weekend there, and we're going to be back next week. And I just found out today that we just got our tourbillons in. We're doing a new tourbillon, and the tourbillons came in today, so we are going to be doing a special top value presentation of our new Imperial Dynasty tourbillon. Some of you out there may have seen Jim Skelton wearing it on Sunday night on his Watch Time with Jim show because we had sent him some samples to shoot. But that's going to be here. We were hoping to get it in time for Christmas. Well, guess what? It's here. So next Wednesday night, a week from tonight, at midnight Eastern time, Jim Skelton's going to launch that as a today's top value. A top value tourbillon, never been done in the history of Shop NBC before, and Sterling Original is going to be doing it. And I happen to know the price is going to be amazing. I don't know for sure where it's going to end up, but I do know it's going to be south of 700. I know that much. I just don't know how low they're going to go with it, but that's pretty exciting. So check that out on Shop NBC. Speaking of watches, I didn't have a lot of time to prepare for this show this week. I didn't even get back till after midnight on Monday night and just swamped at the office. So what we're going to do is we still have some inventory on our Acorn Exchange. So what we're going to do is we're going to extend the offer that we had last week, and it's still good. We sold some pieces, but we've got more. So you can get any one of the 4 watches we have on the Acorn Exchange for only $94. You just go to www.acorn.tv, and then you just click on the Acorn Exchange, whether you use the link at the top or the big banner at the bottom. And when you pick your watch, we have the Sea Lion, which is that big watch that you see in the picture here on the bracelet, or the Louis, or the Symphony Minuet, or the Century Plaza. No matter which one you pick, when you go to check out, all you have to do is put in the discount code Black Friday. You see where it says code Black Friday? Just put in Black Friday, and that code will be good all the way up through Sunday night, this coming Sunday night. And you'll be able to get any one of these watches for $94. That's no matter which one you pick. It's an amazing value right there, and grab as many as you want while they last, okay? Great offer from Sterling Original on the Acorn Exchange on www.acorn.tv. All right, Ant. Now, again, I want to talk some sports. If we get anybody who wants to call in, we'll call in. And I really kind of want to lead a little bit with the Derek Jeter story. Because, again, I don't care what time you get in your car. If you're driving to work in the morning, you're coming home from work in the evening, all they're talking about right now is Derek Jeter. And, you know, I think some of you who've followed my shows and you know me a little bit, you kind of know where I stand on this already. But I want to really state my position, because my position has gotten even more entrenched in the last 2 weeks as things have been happening here. If I'm Derek Jeter, I'm leaving. I'm not going to play with the New York Yankees next year if it's me. If I'm advising Derek Jeter, if I was his agent, his advisor, his manager, whatever, I would say, Derek, it's time to, you know, pick up and let's get out of here. I would go somewhere else. Derek Jeter is said to be asking for a five-year contract for $100 million. I think the Yankees are playing hardball by not giving it to him. I understand he's 36 years old, but Derek Jeter is a very physically fit athlete. He did have a down year, but you know he's going to bounce back like the professional he is, with complete and total dedication. And Derek Jeter, he not only wants to get 3,000 hits, which he will achieve this year, I think in the back of his mind he wants 4,000 hits. If you could sign up a player for the next 5 years and you knew you were going to get 1,000 hits out of him over 5 years, that's an average of 200 hits a season, okay? Would you give him his $20 million per year, a guy of the stature of Derek Jeter? Of course you would. But the Yankees don't believe he can do that. And, of course, playing for Joe Girardi, he'll never be able to do that, because Girardi probably wouldn't let him play more than 150 games this year. And by the time we get the next year, probably 145, and the year after that, 140. And by the time you get to year 4 or 5, Girardi probably have Jeter playing about 110, 120 games a year. Girardi does not believe in letting these guys play. He believes in resting players. So Jeter would not even have a chance to get to 4,000 hits. And I understand it's all about winning championships. I really do. And for Derek Jeter, it's all about championships. But don't think that Derek Jeter does not have personal aspirations. I guarantee he does. And I wanted to do just a little bit of research today on Jeter. And by the way, you know, if Jeter were to leave the Yankees, nobody knows where he would end up. But I found something kind of interesting out there on the internet today, where somebody had actually sent it to me, and I clicked on it. And they had these pictures of Derek Jeter in all these different uniforms. I actually posted it on my Facebook page, but I emailed them over. Actually, I brought them on a disc, and I gave them to Mike, and I hope he loaded them up. But as I'm talking about Jeter and the situation here, if you want to share those, it's kind of funny. You see Derek, you know, they're talking, there's on some blog, they're all talking about where's Jeter going to go, and they have him in all these uniforms. Just take your time and scroll through if you want. But I did some research. You know, everybody says Jeter's washed up. And my whole point of contention is that they gave Alex Rodriguez, and I happen to be an Alex Rodriguez big-time fan. So I'm glad that Alex Rodriguez got $300 million for 10 years, okay, which he did. The Yankees gave him $300 million for a 10-year contract. Jeter's asking for $100 million for 5. Jeter's not off of his rocker. Alex got $300 million for 10 that will take him all the way up until he's about 42 years old. Jeter's asking for 5 for 100. Okay, less than half. I don't think Jeter's out of his mind, and the Yankees are playing hardball with him, offering him $45 million for 3. For everything that Jeter's done for this organization and for the Yankees, and believe me, he has done a lot. You know, if you remember a few years back when you go to the Little League World Series and watch it, and they ask every kid, who's your favorite player? No matter where these kids were from, they could have been from Alaska. It didn't matter. Their favorite player was Derek Jeter across the board. Jeter has brought more fans to the Yankees and more revenue to the Yankees than any player probably in the history of the Yankees, including Babe Ruth. So the way they're trying to tighten the screws on Jeter, I would tell him, keep your money. I don't want to play for Girardi anyway, and go somewhere else. Maybe Texas. I don't know about Texas, but I'd like to, if he's going to go somewhere, I say go to the Red Sox and come back and really just haunt the Yankees. I hate to say it because I'm a Yankee fan, but it's not the same without the boss there, without George Steinbrenner there. And it was a slap in the face that they hired Joe Girardi, a slap in the face to Jeter and Posada. that they hired Girardi again. So I think Jeter should pack up and go. But anyway, I did a little research, and the point I was making here about A-Rod is that Alex is a power hitter. No question, he's chasing the home run record. We all know that, okay? But power hitters, as they get older, their power declines. Now, listen, I understand Barry Bonds was an exception, but Barry Bonds was also suspected of using steroids, so we have to kind of throw Bonds out the window. Other than Bonds, power hitters, as they get older, their power declines. However, a singles hitter, and Jeter hits doubles too, but Jeter's not a power guy. Singles hitters can prolong their careers for years and years and years. And, you know, the record for the most hits in a career is Pete Rose with 4,256. And then Ty Cobb, I think he had something like 4,171, if I'm not mistaken. Jeter right now is at 2,926. So he's more than 1,000 hits away from that 4,000 level, which would make him the third most in history to reach that level. But I took a look at Pete Rose's statistics to support my point that singles hitters can play well into their 40s and still be very productive. Pete Rose, after the age of 36, okay? Think about this. After the age of 36, Pete Rose got another 1,290 hits. We're talking about Pete Rose. Pete Rose was a chunky guy. Don't get me wrong, he was as muscular as they come. He was strong as an ox. But Jeter is a very physically fit, athletic player, okay? And I'm saying this. If Pete Rose, who was primarily a singles hitter and, you know, a gap hitter, a line drive hitter, if he could get basically almost 1,300 hits after the age of 36, and I've got all the numbers right here, why can't people accept the fact that Derek Jeter wants to play? Derek is 36, okay? He'll be 37 at the beginning of next year in April. Why can't people accept the fact that Jeter could get 1,000 hits over the next 5 years? Pete Rose did it. Now, you're not going to do it playing 140 games a year. Jeter has to play every day. You know, he has to play 157, 158, or 160 ball games. So I was checking the numbers on Pete Rose. Here's what Pete Rose did after the age of 36. Check this out, okay? In 1978, Pete Rose was 37 years old. He got 198 hits, and he played in 159 ball games. Pete Rose, okay? In 1979, Pete Rose, at the age of 38, Pete Rose got 208 hits, and he played in 163 games. Must have had a playoff game. In 1980, Pete Rose played in 162 games. That's the whole season, okay? Didn't miss a game at 39 years old. Didn't miss a game at 39 years old, okay? He had 185 hits that year. And in 1981, at the age of 40, he must have been injured because, and I didn't look it up, but he played in 107 games that year. So he might have had an injury. But in 107 games, he still had well more than a hit a game. He had 140 hits in 107 games. Okay, that's more than on pace for a 200-hit season. Okay? In 1982, whatever injury he had, he came back at the age of 41. Pete Rose played a full, complete season, 162 games. He didn't miss a game at 41 years old, and he got 172 hits in 162 games. Okay? In 1983, he played in 151 games at the age of 42. In 1984, at the age of 43, Pete Rose played 121 ball games. In 1985, at the age of 44, Pete Rose played in 119 games at the age of 44. And at the age of 45, Pete Rose played 72 games. So he got 1,300 hits after the age of 36. Singles hitters can continue if they stay in shape. Derek Jeter, in my opinion, has a very remote chance. I'm going to say it now, remote. It's not a good chance, but I would say he has a very outside chance of breaking Pete Rose's record of 4,256 hits. He's got 26 hits, 29-26 at the age of 36. He wants a 5-year deal because he's thinking he can get 1,000 hits over the next 5 years to take him up to the age of 41. And then at that point, he's at 4,000 hits at the age of 41. It's not impossible, okay? And yet the Yankees are saying, sorry, Derek, we don't care what you've done for us. We're going to give you $45 million for 3 years, $15 million. We know that we gave Alex Rodriguez, we know we gave him $300 million for 10 years that will take him all the way to the age of 42 or 43. But that's Alex. We know that we gave A.J. Burnett 5 years for 82, but we're only going to give you 3 years for 45. He's not done. He's not over the hill. Maybe his best years are behind him. I'm not going to deny that. But I guarantee you, the professional that Derek Jeter is, he is going to bounce back. He's going to dedicate himself. I'm sure he's working out now, okay? And here's the thing that bothers me the most about this. Derek Jeter has made no pretenses about his intentions. He's made it very clear for a long time that he does not want to play anywhere else but the New York Yankees. He wants to be a Yankee for life. He doesn't want to play for any other team. He only wants to play for one team. Okay? I think Derek hurt himself because the Yankees know this. And so what are the Yankees doing? They're using that against him, and they're tightening the screws. And they're saying, why should we give him money, offer him more money when he'll take whatever we offer because he wants to be a Yankee? And they say, well, go ahead out there and test the market. Go see what other teams are willing to pay. Now, maybe there is not another team that's willing to give him 5 years for 100. Probably not. Okay? But if he's not going to get 5 years for 100, which the Yankees should just fork it over, in my opinion. But if he's not going to get it, then go play somewhere else for cheap money. Really. Do you really want to play for Joe Girardi, who's going to make you sit out 15 to 20 games this year? Do you really want to go through that? Another season of Girardi blowing it again? You say, well, Girardi won the World Championship 2 years ago. Well, let me tell you something. Anybody who watched that season, if you know anything about baseball, you would know the Yankees won in spite of Joe Girardi. They should have had the pennant clinched or the division clinched, way before they did. And this past year, they should have had the division clinched, literally the first week of September. Girardi started resting everybody, and they almost blew it, okay? So are we going to really sit back and watch? To me, the Yankees are done. They should Jeter should just find a new home. And if I were Jeter, I would recommend go to Boston. Go to the Red Sox, play for a guy like Francona, okay? Go somewhere where you can have a manager that understands baseball the old-fashioned way. That guys want to play every day. Guys can play every day. You're not going to break down. You're not going to wear out. Jeter can play hurt. He does it all the time. He's a pro, okay? Guys of 20 and 30 and 40 years ago played every day past the age of 36. You're going to tell me that today, with today's training methods and nutrition and weight training and workout systems and exercise systems and everything else that we have now, with the knowledge we have now, that nowadays guys are more fragile than they were 40 years ago? I don't think so. Jeter is going to have a tremendous season wherever he plays this next year in 2011. I would challenge Jeter and say, if I was his manager, say, Derek, everybody thinks you're done. Let's come back. I want you to hit 350. That's your goal. 350, get 230 hits. Let's just shut everybody up. Win another Gold Glove, which, by the way, Jeter did win the Gold Glove this year at the age of 36. People say you can't win with a shortstop. I don't care. Listen, that's the problem with fans today. That's the problem with the media today, because they only know what they see. They only know what they can't think outside the box, okay? Just because it's never been done doesn't mean it cannot be done. It just means no one's ever done it, okay? The Yankees, if they wanted to have Jeter and they had the right manager, they could win with a 37. You could win with a 40-year-old shortstop if he can still get the job done, and Jeter will prove that it can be done. People said that you couldn't run a 4-minute mile. Couldn't be done. For years, they were trying to, analyze and figure out ways to run a 4-minute mile. Nobody could do it. They said it was impossible. And then finally Roger Bannister of England did it. And after he did it, within the next, I think, 12 months or 24 months, like 50 other guys did it. It was done like 50 times in the next 12 months. So once somebody did it, then everybody did it. And part of being a great athlete is being a visionary. It really is. And Derek needs that kind of motivation. He needs that kind of challenge put to him. He needs those kind of people around him that can put that charge into him and that kind of challenge into Derek. And I'd be willing to put my money on Derek. And listen, I'm a big A-Rod guy, but I'm not one of those kind of guys that in New York it seems like if you like A-Rod, you can't like Derek. If you like Derek, you can't like A-Rod. Listen, I like both of these guys because they both play the game the right way. And Derek ought to get some points for playing the game the right way. He ought to get some points for being the leader of that team. He ought to get some points for being the leader in the clubhouse. He ought to get some points for being clutch. When the game is on the line and the money's on the line, you want Derek Jeter at the plate. I don't care what his batting average is, okay? So the whole thing with Jeter, what's going around here in New York, it bothers me. And I just hope that Jeter, lets go of this loyalty thing that he has for the Yankees. And I wouldn't blame him if he did because Steinbrenner's not here anymore. These kids that are running the team, they don't know what they're doing. Steinbrenner's kids, they're not, if George Steinbrenner were here, if he were still alive and he were still running this team, he wouldn't bat an eye. He would give Derek a blank check. He's a Yankee. He belongs as a Yankee, okay? That's the way it should be. But now you got these kids, and they're trying to run the team by the numbers, and they're trying to, and listen, Brian Cashman, in my opinion, I used to defend this guy. I was in his corner. Brian Cashman has shown me nothing. Brian Cashman has turned out to be really kind of a sorry general manager, in my opinion. He basically blew it with Cliff Lee in the middle of the season, and he may not blow it this time because this time the Yankees are going to literally open the vault. They're going to go to whatever number they have to go to get Cliff Lee. So I'm not going to, give Cashman any kind of credit when we're going to read probably in the next week or two, Yankees sign Cliff Lee. They're probably going to give him, $150 million for 6 years, okay, to get him, okay, because the Rangers are driving up the price. So believe me, if I had that kind of bankroll behind me, I could sign Cliff Lee, okay? So I'm not going to give Cashman, any credit for that. But while they're throwing all this money around to all these other guys to try to bring him here, and basically because Cashman blew it in the middle of the season on Lee, and that probably cost him the pennant, although Girardi could have saved it. Now he's going to get a chance to blow it again, and he's blowing it with Derek Jeter. So if I were Jeter, I'd go. And, the other thing, too, Jeter's loyalty is one-sided. He's been loyal to the Yankees. He's been loyal to George Steinbrenner. Steinbrenner's kids don't care. If any of you out there have ever read the book Inside Power by Gary Sheffield, it's a great read. It's a great book. I know Gary Sheffield has taken a lot of hits from people, a lot of criticism from people as being a guy that's tough to get along with, a little ornery at times, misunderstood at times. I know Sheffield even had some negative things to say about Joe Torre, and I didn't really appreciate that myself because I think Joe Torre's a great manager and a great ambassador for the game. But nevertheless, if you read that book and you're really objective, there's a lot of truth in Gary Sheffield's book on Inside Power. And, Sheffield's played for a lot of teams, and he talks about all the different heartbreaks that he's had in the game of baseball. And he talks about how, the sport of baseball will eventually, it's going to break your heart. And it will. And he's talking about how teams have no loyalty to these players. And I know Jeter is doing his best to stay loyal to the Yankees, but the Yankees are not returning it. They're not being loyal back to him. They're squeezing him. He's the last guy they should squeeze. And they don't believe in him. Obviously, if they believed that he could get 1,000 hits over the next 5 years, they probably wouldn't bat an eye, and they'd give him the $100 million for 5 years. They don't believe Derek can do it anymore. They think he's done, or they wouldn't be doing this. So where's the loyalty? Where's the confidence? Where's the belief? He has a bad season. Listen, that bad season was due to poor management, in my opinion. If you really watched Derek this year, he was playing hurt for sure. But not only that, his swing got too big. Okay, Derek was trying to pull the ball too much, trying to keep those pitchers honest, trying to drive the ball to left field. Derek needs to get his swing back to, up the middle, go the other way, and just stay within himself. Anytime Derek was, stayed within himself, he got his share of hits and he was doing fine. But when Derek got in trouble, he was when his swing got too big. He needs to get back on track. His goal is to hit 300 and have his 200 hit seasons, and he'll be fine. And he's going to prove it this year. And the Yankees should not so quickly give up on a guy that's only 36 years old and is the kind of guy that can play till he's 42 or 43 or 44. He can do that, and he wants to do it as a Yankee. They're not reciprocating the same loyalty to him as he gives to them. And for that reason, baseball will break your heart. Before they break your heart, Derek, get the heck out of here. Find a place that you go play and just come back and beat the Yankees as much as you can and show the world what kind of a ball player that you really are. All right. Anybody out there want to talk to me about Jeter, give us a call. Let's talk about it. The number here is 914-595-4871. That feels good. I got that off my chest. Okay. Woo! I was dying to do that, by the way. Really. I see King Leon in the thing. He says he probably won't have to compete in the AL East. It might be easier for him. Jeter's a class act from Goldie's dad. I agree with you, Goldie's dad. He is a class act. King Leon says, I hope Lee goes to the Rangers. Well, listen, one thing I'll tell you about Nolan Ryan with the Texas Rangers, you got to give Nolan Ryan a lot of credit. He's out there, he's slugging away, he's competing like the competitor that he was as a pitcher. You saw that he made a pitch to try and get Andy Pettit. I mean, that takes some guts because Pettit's made it pretty clear that no more moves for him. He's if he plays at all, he wants to be a Yankee. But, hey, Nolan Ryan's slugging away saying, wait a minute, come home to Texas. We got a spot for you. Trying to take him away from the Yankees. Got to admire, Nolan Ryan there. Would Jeter, go there? I don't know. But I'll tell you one thing, that's a hitter's ballpark for sure down there. So anyway, now let's talk a little football. This Monday night, and, I kind of wish that, the game was on the weekend because I was going to go, drive up to Boston and maybe watch it, with some people I know up there, maybe 50 millimeter Rick. He's a big Patriot guy, and I'm, of course, a big Jets guy. It would be a lot of fun. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it on Monday night. Probably not, because I just made my flight today for Minneapolis. I'm going to be leaving Tuesday morning to go to Minneapolis. So it would just be too difficult for me to get up there for Monday night. But I will be watching that game. And listen, I'm pulling for the Jets, but for me, I do believe the Jets are going to win. I think they're going to win, but I wouldn't put any money on it. That's for sure. And for me, it comes down to the Jets, in my opinion, just need to play a competitive ball game. Okay, as long as they don't get blown out, I think the Jets are going to be fine. I think there's more pressure on the Patriots to win this game than there is on the Jets. The Jets are kind of playing with house money right now because the Jets beat the Patriots. Now, you can actually turn that around and you can spin it the other way. You can say, well, the Patriots need this game more than the Jets. And because they need it more, usually the team that needs it more, that they have more urgency, they're the team that you're going to favor. So you could spin it that way. But I really do feel that there's a little more pressure on the Patriots to win this game at home than there is on the Jets. The Jets aren't supposed to win this game. They're 3-point underdogs or 3.5-point underdogs. They're playing on the road. As long as they don't get blown out, and let's face it, anytime you play the Patriots, I don't care if it's on the road or in their park, whatever, there's always a chance you could get blown out because, Brady, hits one of his guys like Welker or whatever, they get a touchdown. Then all of a sudden, all it takes is one bad bounce, one fumble, one strip, one tip ball, one interception, and then bang, now you're down 2 scores. You get down 2 scores to the Patriots. I don't think there's a better team in football or a better quarterback in football playing with a lead. Nobody plays with a lead better than Tom Brady. That's what made the Jets' victory over the Patriots earlier this year, so shocking, because the Jets were actually trailing at halftime. And they actually came out and they beat them 24-14 in the second half. And that was quite shocking. However, that was early in the season, and the Patriots are not the same team as they were then. They had Randy Moss then, and Randy Moss did score, had a touchdown in that game. But the Patriots have the kind of players that you really can't stop them. You just hope to contain them. You're not going to stop a guy like Wes Welker, okay? He's too quick. He runs those little crossing routes or the crossings routes, or he's going to run that, that little skinny post that he likes to run, and Deion Branch does the crosses in the skinny post and those kinds of things. Those are almost impossible routes to stop, and these guys are so quick. A guy like Darrelle Revis, he's great at covering these big guys. He's great on a guy like Randy Moss or whoever, but when you get these little quick guys, like even David Woodhead coming out of the backfield, they're going to hit their plays. They're going to hit some plays. They're going to get some yardage. I don't care how great your defense is. So as long as the Jets can play a competitive game, be in it pretty much the whole way, even if they lose a tight ball game, I know that that'll put the Patriots one up on the Jets, but they're still going to be okay, as long as it's competitive. If the Jets get blown out, that's going to be tough to swallow for the Jets. I mean, they can still bounce back, I know. But I do believe that the Jets can win this game, and I would have to pick the Jets. And in my pool that I play in, I actually did pick the Jets to win, because I think that because there's just a little bit more pressure on the Patriots and the Jets are a little looser. Don't get me wrong. The Jets are taking this game for everything that it is. They're putting a lot of emphasis on it. But the Jets are loose, and Rex Ryan has instilled the right attitude, in my opinion, not just for this game, but for this team and for this season. Football is a game that you go out to the street and you throw it all over the street. You play ball. You play loose and fast. You throw your bodies all around the field, that kind of a thing. When you start overthinking it and you start getting too scientific, that's when teams, get beat. And I think the Jets have the right attitude going in. I do not expect the Jets to play tight. I think they're going to play fast and loose, and I think they're going to be free. And I do think that the Patriots might be playing it a little close to the vest. So I'm going to favor the Jets. I'm going to pick the Jets. However, I wouldn't put any money on it. Brady's too good. Belichick is too good. They're in their park. I think they've won something like 25 in a row or something like that in Foxborough. So I just hope that the Jets don't get blown out. As long as they play tight, they're going to be fine. I'm really looking forward to that ball game. And when we come back, maybe we'll talk a little bit about the Lakers. By the way, I just looked at my new watch here. This is a watch. We're going to have this next week in Minneapolis when we do the TTV Tourbillon. This is our brand new Raven Rebel, Awesome. I mean, just a sick timepiece, guys. You're going to love this curved case. Check it out. We're going to have that next Wednesday night with Jim Skelton. All right, so listen, we'll be right back. Don't go away. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit about the Lakers and LeBron James.
Chill with Larry Megan.
Did you donate? I donated. it's good. It's fun. It's exciting.
And I'm happy I came here, and I'm looking forward to Jay Butler.
I am pumped to see Bo Valentine tonight do his thing on the stage.
It's looking good. Things are looking good.
I can't wait to see Seth the Char.
Seth the Char rocks!
I'm really excited to be here.
First of all, it's a charity show. And it's just a lot of excited people, as you can see.
What's going on, everybody? We are Seth the Charge from this ghost town of Portchester, New York. Let's make some noise. That's not good enough for you. I didn't like the delayed response. Let's make some noise. Come on.
Chill with Larry Megan.
Nothing. I was trying to sign up. Listen, I was just looking in the chat room here, and I see Relief PC. I think I know who that is, but he says, sounds like Larry is preparing for a Jets loss. Listen, I'm not really preparing for a Jets loss. By the way, why don't you give me a call? Let's talk about that. Call us up here, and let's get you on the phone here, 914-595-4871, okay? 914-595-4871. I'm not preparing for a Jets loss, okay? I'm actually thinking they're going to win. But I'm just saying that I don't really believe that anybody out there, whether you're for the Patriots or for the Jets, should be feeling that positive about this game, okay? This game could go either way. I'm sorry. These are two very good teams, and they're two good teams that are going to be jacked up to the hilt, okay? Both of these teams are going to be fired up for this game. There's no love lost between these teams. This is going to be what they call a slobber knocker, okay? These teams are going to be bringing the funk out there Monday night, okay? I don't believe that no matter who you're for, you can be that positive about this game. All it takes, again, is one tip, one bad pass, a strip, and bang, you're behind. Now, I will say this. If the Patriots get behind, I won't feel secure about it, because with Brady and Welker and Deion Branch and the tight ends they have, and they can come back. Brady can come back. The Jets are not a team that I would consider a play-from-behind team. Yes, they've shown some tremendous ability on offense this year with Mark Sanchez. His evolution has been fantastic. But the Jets are not, if they get down 2 scores, they're in trouble. They're in trouble. The Patriots, on the other hand, they get down a couple of scores. I know the Jets have a good defense, but that team is like having a tiger by the tail. But I'm just saying, I'm not preparing for a loss, but I'm just saying that this is not the playoffs where, when you lose, you go home, okay? This is week number this is the 12th game. Both these teams are 9-2. After this game, there's still 4 more games, okay? So I'm saying from the Jets standpoint, even if they lose, they're going to be okay. They just need to play a tough ball game, a competitive ball game, and if they lose a close ball game, they're going to be fine. They can still come back and, win the next 4 or win 3 out of the last 4, and they're fine, and they're going to be in the playoffs. If the Jets have a season where they go 12-4, that's a fantastic season for the Jets. But I do believe that the Patriots have been so great for so long that we might be at a crossroads here where we might see, I don't really want to go as far as saying a changing of the guard, because the Patriots, even if they lose, they're going to make the playoffs too. And they're not, a weak team by any stretch. But I would say possibly a little bit of a shift between, who's number one and who's number two. So not necessarily a big changing in the guard situation where they're going to fall off a cliff or anything like that. And I believe we're at that. We saw the Jets beat them this year. The Jets have new confidence this year. They've got a lot of veterans on this team now. So I'm going to pick the Jets. I'm picking the Jets. I'm just not going to expect them. I don't want anybody out there thinking I'm expecting them to lose or I'm preparing for them to lose, okay? I just want a good ball game out of it. Now, my Lakers. Listen, I'm on record as saying, I'm predicting 65-win season for the Lakers. That's not looking too good as they've lost 3 in a row. I'm not going to back off. I'm going to stay on my 65 until it's just mathematically not possible anymore. But I will say it's very anybody who says that they're not worried about it or not concerned, they should be. They should be concerned. To lose 3 games in a row in a regular season like this is very unsettling, and you should be concerned. That's very problematic for a team that, was rolling the way the Lakers were rolling. Is Kobe taking too many shots? Maybe. I don't even want to talk about Andrew Bynum because I'm kind of fed up with the whole Bynum situation. This guy doesn't ever play. I know he's injured. It's legitimate. He wants to play. I think we have a call coming in, Ant. But so I think the Lakers have to approach it as if Bynum's never going to be there. And then if he is there, that'll be like gravy. But Phil Jackson, sometimes he bothers me from the standpoint of he wants the players to figure everything out. Oh, let the players will figure it out. Sometimes you got to coach them, Phil. They're not figuring it out. You got to help them figure it out. Who do we have on the line, Ant? Okay. All right, let's take it. Caller, you're on the line. Chilling with Larry.
Hey, Larry, this is Relief CP.
Relief CP. Lower the stream if you can. What's your first name?
CJ.
CJ Claggett, right?
Yeah.
I thought that was you. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Okay, here's the deal. There's no way the Jets are going to beat Belichick 2 times in a row.
You don't think the Jets can beat him 2 times in a row?
No.
Well, listen, that's
Especially at home. There's no way.
Yeah, well, listen, I won't say no way, but as you can tell, CJ, I'm not 100% positive myself, okay?
Well, I think you're ready for them for a loss. I think you got your listeners get all ready to soften them up because it could be ugly.
Well, let's put it this way, okay? If this were the Jets and the Patriots in the playoffs, I would be more definitive, okay, one way or the other. I really would. And I'd probably come down on the Jets side because I'm a Jets fan, okay? But in this game, honestly, okay, let's say you're right. I'm going to go with you, CJ. Let's say you're right and the Patriots are going to win this game. And I have nothing but love for the Patriots. I'm not one of those kind of fans that I love the Jets and I hate the Patriots. I actually, because I'm a transplant from Los Angeles, okay? When I came here, I adopted the Jets as my team. I'm not really a Giants fan, okay? I kind of like the AFC, so I like a lot of AFC teams. So I listen, when the 2 teams play each other, I'm definitely pulling for the Jets. But when they're not playing each other, I don't mind seeing the Patriots win because I tell you what, Bill Belichick is the kind of coach that I would play for. Okay, I love Bill Belichick. I think that he you notice how he takes reclamation projects. He takes players that other coaches can't coach, and their problems in other places. But when they get there, all of a sudden, they play for Bill Belichick. Look at Randy Moss. Randy Moss wants to get back there in the worst way.
Yeah, the players want to play for Belichick.
There's no question about it.
It shows. Moss wanted to play for him.
There's no doubt about it. I agree with you 100%, CJ. So what I'm saying here is this, is that if this were a playoff game, I wouldn't be as wishy-washy. But here's what I'm saying. If the Patriots win like you say, would you say that means that the Jets are not going to make the playoffs?
Oh, no. The Jets are in. They're in.
That's my point, CJ.
They just won't win that division.
Is that this is not all season ending for the Jets.
No.
That's my point. So
Jets have surprised a lot of people. Even with the hype, to be able to come from behind and win all those games this year in the last minutes with Sanchez, he's really showed some promise this year.
Yeah,
he's impressed me.
Yeah, my favorite thing about Sanchez that he kind of won me over last year was he's got an innate ability to evade the rush. That's something that's very hard to coach. I know Peyton Manning worked on it late in his career about buying extra time. But it seems like it's a natural thing for Sanchez. He feels the pressure, he feels the rush, and he has this natural ability to backstep or sidestep, whatever, to buy a little extra time and extend the plays. And he's done it a lot more this year than he did last year. But that's a tough thing to find.
I think the Jets are a year away, myself.
Well, they may be. So who's your pick then to go represent the AFC? Is it the Patriots?
It's the Patriots. The
What
Patriots.
do you think? What about Pittsburgh?
No. I think the Patriots will have their number in the playoffs.
What is it about the Patriots? I mean, you're on the West Coast, right?
Yeah.
So how did you become a Patriot fan?
But yes, I don't know. I just like the way they're coached and the way the team's run. Who knows? If it comes down to a playoff game and it's in Pittsburgh, all bets are off the table.
Right. All right. So, all right, we beat this up. CJ, you and I should put some kind of a little gentleman's bet on this game.
Okay.
Because
sure.
Because I know I do see you on the boards in the locker room on WatchGeeks. So,
okay.
What are we going to do? What are we going to bet?
Oh, I don't know.
No money.
Okay.
I would say let's do a lunch, but you're out there in California.
I'm in Washington, so that's even farther.
Oh, that's right. You're in Washington. Well, you figure
I don't
it out.
know. We'll figure something out.
You figure it out. You figure it out, and then post it into the locker room area, and we'll do it. I'm on the Jets. No points, just straight up. Now, before I let you go, I know that you're a big time. You're a Laker hater, right?
Well, I'm a Sex Sonics fan. I'm a David Stern hater. What I am.
What did he do to you, man?
He allowed our team to leave. How would you like it if someone bought the Knicks and took them out of town?
Well, it wouldn't bother me in the least. Actually, I'm not a Knicks fan, but
well,
I hear your point though. No, that you make a very strong point. I'm going to agree with you on that. You're right. The league should never permit that.
I really want to put a shout out to all the guys at WatchGeeks who got me back into basketball, because after the Sonics left, I was a diehard fan. They left. I just hated the NBA because of what David Stern. Most of the fans out here feel the same way. They wanted to have nothing to do with David Stern and the NBA after what they did. It was they wanted the fans to buy a new stadium for them, and we had just bought the Mariners Stadium, the Seahawks Stadium, and they wanted a basketball stadium. We just couldn't do it. The economy's bad. And looking back, hindsight, it was probably a good move for the city. But
well, I don't know. Why would it be good that they're not there? I agree with you. Seattle definitely should have a basketball team. I totally agree. My sister lives in Seattle. Oh,
yeah. They're number 15 in the major markets in the United States. There's no reason they shouldn't have a team there.
I'm a lot older than you, CJ, but I remember downtown Freddie Brown.
Well, you're not. I don't think you're much older than me. I was actually went to Fred Brown's retirement party here.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, I knew Fred.
Yeah, you actually knew him?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the Sonics. They always had quick guards on that team, and I go back with the Lakers to the early '60s. When they had Jerry West and Elgin Baylor and Leroy Ellis and Tommy Hawkins and Darryl Imhoff and all these guys. So I mean, I go back, way back. But
well, I was a Lakers fan in the '80s with Magic.
Okay, what is it about the Lakers that turns you off now?
They don't play hard enough every night. They never bring it. I mean, they could be could be one of the best teams ever.
Well, that's a very good point.
They just don't show up. They just laze around, and then the playoff time comes around, they do it. But even in the playoffs, they don't take it to the teams like I think they could.
Well, I agree with you, CJ, and that's why this year I was so shocked at the start of the season. I know I had a phone conversation with Charlie B. On this air, and I had even expressed almost a concern that they were going about it like such business. I never had seen them so focused the way they were started this year, because you're right. I'm used to the Lakers, kind of sleepwalking through the season. And then every now and then they get focused when they lose a few games, and then they play well, and then they lose games they shouldn't lose. And you're right. But
if I were a Lakers fan, I'd be concerned about Kobe's health. His legs don't look right now. Maybe later in the year he'll get better, but it's early in the season and he looks tired. He's taking outside shots all the time, a lot of threes. He's not going to the hoop.
Well, that's a good point, CJ. I was watching on the highlights last night, that game they lost in Memphis, and he's coming down the court, 7, 6, 5, and I'm, okay, I think it was Rudy Gay got in his face and he made him pass the ball off to Artest, and Artest missed a fall-away three-pointer and they lost the game. But I was almost just stunned that Kobe didn't just, they're down by a point, that he didn't just try to ride that thing all the way to the hoop, and at a minimum he would get fouled.
Yeah, he's 15 years now. Those aren't easy years either.
Man, I was shocked that Kobe went to took it into the middle, and then he went up in the air and committed, and so I think Kobe. I think he's going to re-examine what he did on that play, but you're right. That was a play he should have taken it to the rack for sure.
Yeah. Well, do you think LeBron's going to do his pregame warm-up tomorrow night in Cleveland with the powder?
Listen, this is probably going to surprise you, CJ. No, it probably won't, because you kind of know you kind of know my stance on a lot of these things, and I know that you and I are going to be on opposite sides on a lot of stuff. But I'm one of the few guys out there that, as far as I'm concerned, I want to see LeBron just scorch Cleveland. Okay, I really do.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to see LeBron, be punished, and all, he should apologize and all this kind of stuff. I don't agree with any of that stuff. You saw with that owner, the way he reacted to LeBron doing his TV thing, the decision.
Yeah, that was classless.
Well, classless by the owner or by LeBron?
Well, both of them. I thought it was on both parts, but more, just as much as the owner as it was LeBron for the interview, not leaving. I don't think that was wrong at all. A guy should be able to go where he wants to.
Yeah. Well, I know they're killing LeBron for doing that TV show, the decision and all that. And I'm sure now, just based upon the repercussions of it, he probably wouldn't do it based on that. But even going back to that, I didn't think it was all that terrible, because, as you know, people have been following they were following the LeBron thing for almost 2 years. When he's going to be a free agent, where's he going to go? Where's he going to go? Teams were emptying their payrolls to kind of line up to try to get this guy. And it was big news. And so even if he didn't do a, quote, TV special on ESPN, I mean, why don't we kill ESPN for even doing it more than LeBron anyway?
That's true.
They didn't have to
It's a different world now. It's a different world than it was 20 years ago.
There's no question. And I'm definitely an old school kind of guy, so why am I even sticking up for this new school mentality? But my point is even if he didn't do that TV special, they would have still had a press conference somewhere. Okay, maybe in Miami, and he would have been sitting at a podium or at a table, and we would have seen like a Miami Heat, backdrop or something like that, and it would have been televised live on ESPN News or something like that, and you would have had a room full of reporters, probably like 100 reporters, and they would have been asking all these dumb questions, and it would have been live. And it would have been okay, because it wasn't an orchestrated interview. It wasn't an orchestrated TV show. But it still would have been live. It still would have been aired. And instead of having 100 reporters in a room asking, 90% of the questions being stupid questions, he got a respected reporter who, I don't really like Jim Gray, by the way. I hate what he did to Pete Rose. And I know Jim Gray is Kobe's go-to guy. But even though I don't like Jim Gray, I have to admit the guy is a respected reporter, okay?
Yeah.
He gets a respected reporter to ask whatever questions he wants to ask. So you're going to get, let's face it, you're going to get intelligent questions. You're not going to have 100 reporters asking dumb questions. You're going to have a respected guy asking intelligent questions. And then back in the studio, they have, what's his name? Is it Mike Wilbon or Richard Wilbon? You know, they
Michael Wilbon.
Michael
yes.
Wilbon from Chicago. They're going to have Michael Wilbon also chiming in with intelligent questions. So you have an orchestrated TV thing where you have Jim Gray and Michael Wilbon, two very respected journalists, asking intelligent questions instead of a live press conference that might have gone on for 2 hours with 100 guys, and that would have been okay.
I agree. That would have been 100 times better.
Yeah, so I don't understand why everyone wants to kill him for this. But anyway.
Yeah, by the way, I'm watching Sports Center. The Lakers lost again tonight.
Oh God, no! They played Houston, right?
Yeah, they lost 109-99.
Well, I know that warms your heart, but
first 4-game losing streak since 2007.
Well, like I said earlier tonight, CJ, I don't know if you heard me. Any Laker fans that are going to sit there and tell you they're not concerned or they shouldn't be concerned, this is only the regular season, they're fooling themselves, because they need to be concerned about this. This is not good. And I think this is one of the things that bothers me about Phil. I know Phil's a great Zen master and he's great at, managing people, but every now and then he should try coaching basketball, because Pat Riley is the kind of guy that if you don't play defense, you don't play.
Yeah.
If you're not going to go out there and bust it on defense, you're sitting down on the bench. Okay.
Yeah, Phil's more of a manager of players.
Right. With Phil, they don't play defense. They play loose defense and they score. And Phil says, well, I'm going to let my guys just figure it out for themselves.
Yeah.
Sometimes the coach has to coach.
Yeah.
And that's what bothers me with Phil sometimes.
Yeah. That's easy when you have Kobe and Jordan and the players he's had too.
Well, listen, CJ, it was really. I'm glad you called in. And
okay, well, see you on WatchGeeks.
Pleasure talking with you. It's a lot of fun, the sports stuff. If you think of a viable bet, let's chat in the locker room on WatchGeeks. Okay.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Thanks, Larry, for having me on.
All right, peace, CJ.
Have a good
Take
night.
care now. All right. Well, listen, that was a lot of fun tonight. Talking a little bit about Derek Jeter, about the Jets and the Patriots, and, of course, my main man, Kobe. It's that time of the show. I got to end every show with one Judy Garland spot. So let's go ahead and hit it. Always chasing rainbows. Well, as many of you know, I'm a big Judy Garland fan, and it's my little webcast I do every week. So her career was all about inspirational moments, not necessarily films, but within every film or whatever she did, there was always certain moments that were inspirational. So I try to share one moment every week, a Judy Garland moment that I find inspirational. And this week, I found a number that was from her TV show, and it was from the Judy Garland show in 1963. And I love this. It's a duet, and she does it with her daughter, Liza Minelli. And, Liza's still alive. She's out there, and, I hope she's doing okay. But this is when Liza was pretty young. I think Liza was maybe 16 years old here, maybe 17 at the most. And Judy Garland was only 40 years old here in 1963 or 41. She was born in 1922. So she's about 40 or 41, and Liza's maybe 16 or 17 here. And this was from her TV show. It's a short clip. And what I love about this is the genuine love that you can see between mother and daughter. So let's take a look at that. Here's Judy Garland and her daughter, Liza Minnelli. right, there it was, Liza and Judy. Nice wrap on the show. CJ, that was a nice call. Thank you for calling in. That was great. Thank you guys for chatting here in the chat room. Now, for next week, we're not going to be here chilling with Larry because I'm going to be in Minneapolis, and at midnight Eastern time, we're going to be launching today's top value for Shop NBC, and we just got the word today that the goods are here. They came in today. So it's the new Imperial Dynasty Tourbillon. We're doing a Tourbillon TTV, never been done in the history of Shop NBC. Who would have ever thought? That's going to be exciting. And I know I talked to Jim a little earlier tonight about it. Told him that the goods came in, and he's excited, and he's got the samples. He told me he's going to take some pictures, and he said he'll post them up in the next couple of days on WatchGeek. So look for that. We're going to have the new the Raven Rebel. That's going to be hot. We're going to have a lot of good stuff. So next week I'll be at Shop NBC, and then we'll be back here in 2 weeks. Until then, I'm Larry Megan. Peace, love, and all good things.
Chill with Larry Megan.